Hello, everyone. This is Tom Fox, and I'd like to welcome you to the Daily Compliance News. The Daily Compliance News is an offering of the Compliance Podcast Network. February 4, 2019, the We Are the Champions Super Bowl edition. Yet again, the New England Patriots are Super Bowl champs, defeating the Los Angeles Rams 13-3. In some of today's compliance and corruption news, we have an article by Francine McKenna on revenue recognition, which apparently is still a challenge for companies that adopted new accounting standards beginning in 2018 that allowed shortcuts to apples to oranges comparisons. So that's still an issue. Next up is an article that McKinsey advised Purdue Pharma on how to turbocharge opioid sales. So one of the company's most prestigious management consulting companies has once again been drawn into national controversy over the reckoning of who bears responsibility for the opioid crisis. In legal papers released, it appears that McKinsey consultants had instructed the drug company Purdue Pharma, who is under investigation or rather going to trial for their responsibility on opioid sales, on how to turbocharge and how to counter efforts by drug enforcement agents to reduce opioid use. So yet another black eye for McKinsey. In a very interesting article in the Wall Street Times, Matt Murray sat down with Satya Nadella, the CEO of Microsoft, to talk to him about some of his observations when he took over Microsoft. And he said that the biggest issue he had to face was to change Microsoft's culture and make it a more vocal corporate citizen. And to do so, he had to recognize the numerous stakeholders that were involved in the company. So obviously shareholders, but employees, but customers, users of the product, and a wide variety of others. And I thought this was a very prescient observation by Nadella, recognizing the number of stakeholders in an organization. And finally, we end up with an article about Goldman Sachs and 1MDB. In this case, or rather, Goldman has decided it's going to institute clawbacks around executives who worked on the 1MDB account. Clawbacks are not anything new, but it is very unusual to have clawbacks for one particular project or one particular issue. So Goldman is looking to try to remediate the problems that they have found themselves in around 1MDB, no doubt to try to avoid either a government monitor or significant government penalty around the FCPA and other problems. It's going to be interesting to see what Goldman comes up with. But the biggest news of the day, of course, is the Super Bowl win. It was the lowest scoring Super Bowl in history. New England now has 6 Super Bowl wins, tying it for the most. Julian Edelman was the MVP. This is Tom Fox. If you have any ideas for the Daily Compliance News, please feel free to email me at tfox@tfoxlaw.com. I'd love to hear from you. This is Tom Fox. I'm the Compliance Evangelist. As you may know, we've had several new offerings on the Compliance Podcast Network. One of those includes Popcorn and Compliance, where Jay Rosen and I take a look at compliance through the lens of movies, both current, contemporary movies, and classic movies. Also premiering in December. And finally, Mary Shirley and Lisa Fine have premiered their new podcast, Great Women on Compliance. I hope you will check that out. It's a great podcast series. We have several other offerings that we are in production and will go live after the first of the year on the Compliance Podcast Network.